Joining us now is Scott Fredericksen. He's a former federal prosecutor in the Reagan and George H.W. and George W. Bush administrations, and he worked as an independent counsel. Thanks so much for coming on the show, Associate Independent Counsel. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. All right, so what do you make of this? I mean, do you think I have fairly characterized the legal side of this?
I think you have, Dan. You start with fact is here the U.S. Attorney in Delaware was essentially a special counsel because when President Biden took over, Merrick Garland, as Attorney General, left the U.S. Attorney, David Weiss, in place. That rarely happens that you leave in place a U.S. Attorney, the top federal prosecutor in the state, who was appointed by the prior administration. This man was appointed by former President Trump. There is none, zero, not a scintilla of evidence that there was any involvement by the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, in the investigation or in this plea agreement. None, zero, and nothing, no evidence to reflect the Biden White House involved. The Biden White House has been mum, and there's nothing to show any involvement to try and move this investigation one way or the other. So I think you start with that. And the second thing is that the pleas that enter into today are eminently, I think you'd have to say, reasonable. These are minor federal crimes, 2 misdemeanors. We're talking misdemeanors. People without any criminal record don't go to prison for misdemeanors. Mostly no one goes to prison for misdemeanors. This is untimely paying your taxes. It isn't coming up with a scheme to evade taxes where you're, squirreling away millions of dollars in offshore. Those kinds of cases get prosecuted. These kinds of cases, if it were, somebody out here viewing this show, if they were the ones that hadn't timely filed the case, there wouldn't be a federal prosecution. Yep. It's just the opposite. It is his high profile that probably led to the fact that the U.S. Attorney really felt he had to have some resolution where Hunter Biden admitted guilt and pled guilty to these crimes.
Scott Fredericksen, thank you very much for coming on the program. Really appreciate it.
Of course.
Now for a political look at the fallout, let's bring in Rodney Davis, former Republican congressman from Illinois. Thanks so much for coming back on the show. Appreciate it. All right, so you heard my critique of some of your former colleagues who were yelling and screaming about the 2-tiered system of justice. What do you make of, after listening to Scott Fredericksen and myself, you think it's still a fair critique from them?
Well, there's always going to be instances where one can bring up a 2-tiered form of justice or 2-tiered system of justice. Look back at Crossfire Hurricane. You look back at the entire Russia collusion hoax, the Durham report. There was a 2-tiered system of justice. The DOJ and the FBI went after newly elected President Trump. And frankly, they went after his campaign before he got elected. However, the charges that Hunter Biden pled guilty to show that he is guilty, and that should be, they should be given credit for working through the investigation. But this is not over politically at all, Dan.
No, I know it's not over politically. I've got to ask you the question I ask everyone who comes on this show and tells me about the 2-tiered system of justice with Crossfire Hurricane in 2016, et cetera. I don't think I've asked you this question, but it's the one that I've never seemed to be able to get a great answer to, which is, if the goal of the FBI and the Department of Justice was to hurt Donald Trump and help Hillary Clinton, why would James Comey have announced 11 days before the election that the Hillary Clinton investigation was being reopened, but not disclose that there was a Russia investigation of Donald Trump?
That's a great question. I guess I'd have to go ask John Durham what he found out about what was happening at the upper level of the FBI and their leadership at that time. Yeah. But in the end, we do know that that was wrong, and that's why you have many Americans really believing that there is a 2-tiered system.
No doubt. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.